A modern passenger jet vanished. It disappeared in 2014. In an age when humanity could track storms from space, communicate across continents instantly, and monitor aircraft moving across the globe. Yet somehow a Boeing 777 carrying 239 people simply vanished. And more than a decade later, the world is still searching for answers. March 8, 2014. The night began like any other. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 departed Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, bound for Beijing, China. On board were 227 passengers and 12 crew members. Families were sleeping. Business travelers were preparing for meetings. Children were dreaming of arriving at their destination. Nothing seemed unusual. Nothing seemed wrong. At 1:19 a.m., the pilot calmly transmitted what would become one of the most haunting final messages in aviation history. "Good night, Malaysian 370. The words sounded routine. No distress, no emergency, no indication that anything was about to happen. Then less than 2 minutes later, the aircraft vanished from civilian radar. Air traffic controllers expected the flight to check in with Vietnamese authorities, but it never did. Calls went unanswered. Radio contact was lost, and flight MH370 disappeared into the darkness. At first, officials assumed it was a communication problem. Aircraft occasionally lose contact. Usually they reappear moments later, but MH370 never returned. As hours passed, concern turned into alarm. Search teams were deployed. Ships and aircraft scoured the South China Sea. Investigators examined radar records. Families waited desperately for news, but every answer seemed to create even more questions. Then came the first shocking discovery. Military radar data suggested the aircraft had not continued toward Beijing at all. Instead, it appeared to have turned around. The plane had changed direction. Someone or something had altered its course. Investigators learned that the aircraft continued flying for hours after losing contact. Satellite data later revealed faint electronic handshakes between the aircraft and a satellite network. The signals were weak, but they proved one crucial fact: the plane was still in the air, long after it had disappeared. Using these satellite connections, experts calculated a probable path. The results stunned the world. The aircraft had likely flown thousands of kilometers away from its intended route, far into the remote southern Indian Ocean, one of the most isolated regions on Earth, a place where the ocean is vast, storms are fierce, and depths reach several kilometers below the surface. If a plane crashed there, finding it would be incredibly difficult. An international search effort began. Countries from around the world joined the operation. Aircraft scanned the ocean, ships deployed sonar equipment, specialized teams mapped the seabed. It became the largest and most expensive search in aviation history. Years passed, millions of square kilometers were examined, yet the main wreckage remained missing. No complete aircraft, no flight recorders, no final explanation, only fragments. Pieces of debris eventually washed ashore on islands and coastlines around the Indian Ocean. Experts confirmed that several pieces came from MH370. The evidence strongly suggested the aircraft had indeed ended its journey in the southern Indian Ocean. But exactly where? Nobody knew. As the years passed, theories exploded across the internet. Mechanical failure, pilot action, hijacking, fire, electrical malfunction, government cover-ups, even more extraordinary explanations. But despite countless theories, investigators found no definitive evidence proving exactly what happened during the flight's final hours. That uncertainty is what makes MH370 different from most aviation disasters. Usually, investigators recover the flight recorders. They reconstruct events. They identify causes. They provide answers. With MH370, the most important witnesses, the aircraft's black boxes, have never been found. And without them, the final chapter remains unwritten. Today, investigators believe the aircraft most likely crashed into the southern Indian Ocean after exhausting its fuel supply. This conclusion is supported by satellite data, debris analysis, and years of research. But many critical questions remain unanswered. Why did the plane change course? What happened inside the cockpit? Was the event intentional? Was it caused by a catastrophic failure? Could new searches finally locate the wreckage? No one knows for certain, and until the main wreckage and flight recorders are recovered, the world's greatest aviation mystery may remain unsolved. More than a decade has passed. 239 people boarded flight MH370, expecting an ordinary journey. Instead, they became part of one of history's most enduring mysteries, a mystery that continues to challenge investigators, a mystery that still haunts families, and a mystery that reminds us that even in the age of satellites and advanced technology, some questions remain unanswered. What do you think happened to flight MH370? And do you believe the aircraft will ever be found? Subscribe for more history mysteries.